Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm Hugo Swart, and I lead the Qualcomm awesome XR team. Today, I hope I learned the lessons from how to create a story and hopefully tell you a good story. Our story today is about the making of an ambient world, and to also discuss why the future of XR is now. We were inspired by Walt Mossberg on his last article before he retired on a world where technology disappears from a user perspective. Technology goes into the background. Users don't have hardware. Users don't have to turn on a device, don't have to open an app. It's all transparent. So today, our story, hopefully I'll divide into Act 1, 2, and 3. Let's see if I learned the lessons. But we're going to show you how we're going to get to this ambient world. And to get us started, I'm going to show you a video of our vision of this ambient world.
A new day is dawning. The things we rely on today, our smartphones, PCs, smart appliances, are on the verge of a transition. Breakthroughs in AR and VR, mobile computing, connectivity, and artificial intelligence are propelling us to a future where the technology, the devices we use to interact with all of these things, will fade into the background. Welcome to the age of ambient computing, the transformation of the world around us, soon to be infused with intelligence and capabilities that are practically invisible, waiting to be activated by a voice, a person entering the room, a change in blood chemistry, a shift in temperature, a motion, or even just a thought. The age of ambient computing stretches into the future, but is already being formed today by breakthrough innovations, past and present. How we live, work, and play will be forever transformed. A new world of possibilities, an ambient world.
So that is the what of the story. So now let's talk about the how. Well, before we get into the first act, let's just from a terminology perspective, make sure that we are in this room talking about the same language, the same terms. AR, VR, MR, right? We all use these terms. And actually last year, during AWE 2017, we adopted the term XR. Right? XR as an acronym, an umbrella term to represent AR, VR, MR, anything in between. And at Qualcomm, we strongly believe that XR is the future of mobile compute. In a few years, we're not going to have to carry smartphones anymore. We're not going to have to carry PCs anymore. It's all XR. It's going to change many industries. It's going to change the way we work. It's going to change the way we play, the way we entertain ourselves, and the way we socialize. And I think everyone in this room would agree with that. Now, what we need to discuss as an industry is, how do we get there, right? How do we get to this holy grail of a device, right, that works the whole day, is as sleek and cool form factor as your latest Ray-Ban, and I can do everything, right, from AR to VR. So if we look back about 5 years or so, depends on how you count, if you look at the AR path in the top, we started seeing the first mobile AR experiences with smartphones. Target-based, marker-based, they were available. We at Qualcomm were working with Vuforia as a tool to get these first experiences to the market. First AR glasses came, monocular, very small screens, and had a path, had a first introduction of this concept to our world. If you look today, things improve, of course, significantly. On smartphones, we have AR Core. Features like AR Core, or in SenseTime in China, they have similar features to enable good experiences on smartphones, good AR experiences on smartphones. Now I have plane detection, I have illumination and other features available through our smartphones without any special hardware. At the same time, on the glass, that improved. You have glasses with the dual screens, wider field of view, holograms, hand tracking. So that's today. And we see this improving year over year. Devices getting smaller, higher performance, lower power, until we get to the Holy Grail. And we're going to see a few variations of hardware going forward. We're going to see glasses that are all-in-one. You're going to see glasses that have a little bit of compute, and with maybe a compute pack or a compute puck or a box, whatever you want to call it, connected to it wirelessly. So for the next 2 to 5 years, we're going to see those iterations happening. In parallel, we have the smartphone path. Right? We started with slot-ins, or even earlier with cardboard, slot-in devices like Gear VR, Daydream. And now we have the standalone VR HMDs that provide great user experience. And they are going to improve as well. They're going to get higher resolution, they're going to get smaller, and then these two paths will converge. So that's also an interesting way to think about the term XR. Right? When you get into today, you have these two paths, AR and VR. They will both continue to evolve and then merge into a glass that can do both AR, VR, XR. Now, let's get into a little bit more from a use case perspective. The previous slide was very much a device-centric evolution story. So now let's talk about, from a use case, how do we see us getting to this ambient world? So, as the last slide talked about, 5 years ago, the past XR experiences or past technology we had. If you take education, ancient Egypt, right, as an example, how would it be? How was it 5 years ago to take ancient Egypt in an AR experience in the classroom? Well, you would have an image. Your phone or your tablet is trying to match that image to a pre-recorded, to a database in your application. You see a match, and now a digital overlay comes on top of that marker of that image. So that's the past. Now, if you look at today, we improved a lot over the past 5 years. We can already, with a standalone VR HMD or even a PC-tethered HMD, take that same student inside the pyramid, inside the topic that they're learning in the classroom. So technology is here today that can enable that student to be walking inside the pyramid with room scale 6DoF tracking. That can enable that student to manipulate objects while moving within the pyramid to technologies like hand tracking. And have very powerful visuals, high resolution displays, so that the student feel he or she is inside the pyramid. So this is now. On AR, same thing. This is now, right? You can have a student put an AR glass and without any markers, without any images to recognize or to serve as a target, you can have a digital, a virtual object in the field of view of the student, making the education experience much richer. So technology is there to do image and object recognition, right? Is this a table? This is a plane. Okay, so now the student wants to learn about ancient Egypt. You can put a virtual object on that plane. It's locked, illumination be covered, and you have 3D audio that matches what you see. So this is today. Of course, I mean, even as the picture shows, the devices are not yet to a point where the student has that glass the full day. It's more for a given experience in the classroom. Now, when we look at the next step, right, when we look into the future, still with devices, right, with a converged AR, VR glass, so what is this experience going to be? Right, so maybe we will have an experience where 95% of my field of view is virtual, is digital, and only maybe 5% is real. So now think about, your 11-year-old son or daughter in the classroom. So now you have, the friends, the teacher, your classmates, the teacher all together, and maybe that's the only thing that you see from reality. Now the classroom transforms itself into the pyramid. So you walk together, you look at paintings in the wall as there were the paintings in the pyramid. There are, of course, on the how, there are many technology challenges that we are working on to get there. I mean, things as simple as collusion, object collusion. So if you have that painting on the wall, my friend goes in front of between me and the wall, well, I don't want to see, that painting in my friend's face, right? It needs to disappear. It cannot be projected in front of my eyes anymore. So there are many obstacles like this that we are working on and will enable such experience come to life. 5G is going to be important when we talk about this type of use case. Not only because I want to have this class the whole day and be able to connect everywhere I go, but also because 5G will enable us to split the processing between what I do in the glass and what I do in the edge of the network in terms of processing. So imagine how much horsepower, how much GPU and other components of the hardware need to be in place for you to generate this 95% of my field of view real and virtual and 5% real. There's a lot of performance, there's a lot of horsepower that needs to be in place, and then having 5G help extend the capacity of the device you have with the cloud will get us there. So 5G is going to be a critical point on this trajectory. And that's when we get to the ambient world. That's where devices disappear. That's where you are in that same setup in the classroom where teacher and students are collaborating, are having virtual experiences together without any hardware. Clearly, AI will be key, right, to understand what to put in front of the students, when to put in front of the students, and have a synchronized view between everyone in the classroom. So that's, the trajectory that we see from today till, the ambient world. Now, technology, even though we say that technology fades into the background, of course, the key for this ambient compute, this ambient world to emerge is that the technology needs to evolve. So that's the foundation to get to the ambient world. And we at Qualcomm see three main buckets of technology that we need to work on as an industry. Immersion, so the visuals, right? High resolution displays, high frame rates. Audio that matches exactly what you see, 3D-based audio. Interactions, it needs to be very interactive, be it through your eyes, with your hands, with your feet, full body interactivity. Artificial intelligence, that's the second bucket. That's the second area of technology that we need to improve to get to the ambient world. The technology needs to understand what does the user need at that specific time. Context awareness. When to show, if I'm talking right now, I don't want to be seeing WhatsApp notifications or things that may distract me. But I may want to see, oh, people are getting bored. I need to get a little bit more emphatic. So artificial intelligence is going to be key. And then the third pillar, connectivity. I mentioned 5G as an important technology to be the channel for all this information to be exchanged between person, cloud, other people. So 5G is going to play a critical role in this technology journey. And all of that be done at very power efficient processing. Now that we talked about how do we see, how do we went from 5 years ago to where we are today and the future, I'm going to tell you what is Qualcomm's contribution. What are we doing to make this ambient world come to life? So of course, Qualcomm, our forte being creating SoCs, creating processors that power these experiences. So we have chips, we have platforms for XR. We have software that is paired with this platform, be it OS, drivers, and so forth. And we have advanced algorithms that come together with this software. Algorithms that we develop in-house, algorithms that we count on partners to integrate. And then from those three ingredients of our strategy, we make the fourth one, which is reference designs. So we take the chip, we take the software, we take these algorithms and put it in a reference design. We did that with Snapdragon 835, we did that with Snapdragon 845, and make that available to our OEM customers, make that available to developers, to technology partners, put profilers and SDKs. And then the next one is the accelerator program. We created an accelerator program where we bring in partners to scale. ODMs, ISVs, IHVs, component suppliers. So we are working with the industry to make sure that we have an end-to-end story so that the devices can come to life at the end by our OEM customers. And the strategy seems to be working. We already launched many devices, both in VR and AR, both in smartphones and in standalone devices. So we are very happy with the progress we are seeing on the standalone category, both in VR and AR, that were helped to our strategy of putting the silicon, the software, the algorithms, reference designs, and ODMs. And what we saw was that our Qualcomm portfolio, we were serving very well premium experiences, premium VR and AR experiences in the standalone category. And we thought that, well, there's not only the premium category of standalone devices, we also see the opportunity for what we are calling a high-quality tier of standalone devices. And for that high-quality tier, we announced a couple of days ago the first XR dedicated platform of our industry, called the XR1. So the XR1 has the right balance between audio, interactions, visuals, and artificial intelligence for these high-quality products, both AR and VR. So, to sum it up, at Qualcomm, we really see XR as the next generation compute platform. We see that XR is now, right? We see it that standalone products offer great experiences. And we understand that we need to work with you all in the industry to make us get into this journey to the ambient world. So we're very happy to collaborate with all of you. And I started with a video on ambient world, and I'm going to finish with an XR, why the future of XR is now. All right, thank you, everyone. Happy to talk with any of you. We have a booth here at the show, so please stop by and we can discuss more. Do I still have a few minutes for questions? I think it's Slido questions. Question, why do you call XR1 platform? What modules does it have? So we call it a platform because we offer the hardware, the SoC, the software, the algorithm, so that's what we call it a platform. It's a combination of everything we provide to our customers. What are the concerns with security for Ambient? Well, I think the concerns on security are really, you don't want to have malicious or spams to be coming in your field of view and not being something you want to see. So, I mean, the security aspect there is both from privacy, but also not letting malicious sources get into your device. Does the tech exist for the AR house in the video? Yes, actually, we work with a few of our partners to create that kind of experience. So, yeah, actually, the last video that we created is technology that is pretty much available today. Can you comment on battery life with always-on camera NCV algorithms? Sure. So I think here is where we will work with our OEMs and understand the day of use use case and see how much battery you want to include on your device. The question is what to make it always on, what to leave it in the background, and do you want the cameras on all the time? Do you want the microphones on all the time? So it's really an optimization that we need to work with the OEMs on what to wake up the overall system. In our SoC, we actually have many compartmentalized areas of the chip that you can turn it on or turn it off and then save power. When do you think 5G will be ready? 5G, actually, I mean, it's we're pretty far along on 5G. We're starting to see trials this year, launches, operator launches, you know, in next years. So I think it's pretty much a technology with any kind of transition from 3G to 4G. Now we're going to see from 4G to 5G. We're going to see, operators to aggressively have the first launches, and then, coverage expands as the years go by. Can you speak on the use of edge compute with XR, state of the market, and how do you see it being used? Edge compute, when I say edge compute, I mean network edge compute. This is still an area of R&D, still an area of investigation, but we definitely see the potential of offloading some of the processing on the device to the edge of the network. And then I think the critical is going to be latency, where 5G is going to be 5G is going to be the center to enable that experience to come to life. So with that, thank you again for being here. Hope to see you at our booth and collaborate for us to get into the ambient world. Thank you very much.